It's like herding cats.
Ha 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 ha.
You ready to get this party started?
Let's get it started. Ha.
Let's get it started in here. You want to try and introduce us, Mo? Hi, and welcome back to the Wandering Artist Podcast. I'm Steffi.
And I'm Casey.
We're going to be talking about week 10 today. We're in New Mexico with our kitties. This is Momo. Momo, say hi. I really hope that actually shows up as sound. Our cats are out for a walk this lovely morning. Momo can handle leash and harness training. Obi is not handling it, so he's free wandering. Although he wants to go inside, lol.
He always screams to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're outside, he wants to be inside.
He just wants to be wherever he's not. Such is the conundrum of the cat. It's Schrodinger's cat.
Welcome back, everybody. It's kind of crazy to me that last week we were in Oregon. It feels like we've been here for longer.
It does feel like that. Time is weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I'm feeling far more rested than the last time we did this, and I feel way more calm and just like way better.
I feel like I'm still getting there. Definitely better than before, but
Yeah, like significantly better than 2 days ago.
the spoons are slowly coming back.
Yesterday we literally did exactly this, but we didn't exit this mode. We ate, watched Drag Race, of course, ate some more, and ate some more. It was great.
We did fuck all.
It was perfect. It was exactly what we needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been, I don't know, an adventure. I've never lived anywhere besides Oregon, and so it's really interesting. I know it's only been a week, but like it's interesting starting to live here. It's very, very different from Oregon. It's warm. It's winter and it's warm.
Mm-hmm. It's
That's
dry
still
and it's
woozy.
pokey.
Is this podcast gonna accidentally turn into like a cat podcast?
It'd be funny.
Queers, cats, travel, and art.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great time. If that's something you're into, stick around. So what is week 10 about?
The title is Recovering a Sense of Self-Protection. I feel like overall it was a short chapter, but it was just talking about different blocks and talked a lot about workaholism
Yeah.
and strategies for identifying different blocks and like why we block ourselves.
Yeah.
The answer is fear.
Yeah. The first thing that she talks about, I'm pretty sure in this chapter, is like I don't remember what she named it. I think it's like something about flowing with the river or the road or something. Or what is it called? Treacheries of the road?
Dangers of the trail.
Dangers of the trail. Interesting way of putting it. Basically, it talks about the kinds of blocks that we don't necessarily like to acknowledge. So the examples she gave were food, sex, drugs, alcohol, and work. Mm-hmm. Then she has her own section on workaholism, and there's a few other things that she includes that I think are really appropriate. But we'll start with like food, sex, drugs, and alcohol, which I consider a drug personally, because technically it is one, is it not?
Alcohol?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so intoxicants. Obi wants to say something about sex, drugs, and alcohol, apparently. What do you think, Obi? I really hope that's audible.
Yeah, it's like she says that like none of these things are inherently a block, but it's when it becomes an issue and a way to distract yourself.
Yeah.
And I think
that's more the point. I think you're right on the money with that.
Yeah. I think of those things, the one I connect the most with is food, specifically sugar, because I am a sugar fiend. And it's not that like I'm, like you said, I'm not consciously like, oh, I'm gonna go have ice cream instead of be creative. It's just like feeling that sense of like being a little lost or directionless, and it's like something that's comforting is sugar.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Something that's comforting for me is chips and mac and cheese, but I guess I never really considered it a block because I feel like having had an eating disorder, that's way more of a block
Mm-hmm.
than eating,
Yeah.
which maybe that's its own eating, or that's its own block that could be discussed, that maybe it's kind of weird and hard to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel like for me, food is a really complex one because like it is a it is it can be both a block and also a source of my creativity.
absolutely. I mean,
So
it is a source of your creativity. You love to cook, you love to bake. We just made like beautiful pumpkin pies and a beautiful pumpkin roll. Did you even take a photo of the pumpkin roll?
I don't think I did actually.
Momo.
Definitely should have.
It's okay. I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things though, like I think last week she talked about how to get through blocks, and they are based in fear. They are based in like staying in your comfort zone, right? And that's, part of that is being afraid to get out of your comfort zone. And the way to face that is to like love, to put love into it, and to like kind of reframe your mindset of it's not, I don't really know how to explain it, like reframing it from being a scary thing to a pleasurable, fun, playful thing. And I think all of those vices can be those things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if there's much more to say about it than that. Like, do you have more thoughts on it?
Not on like food specifically, but with this chapter, I'm reminded again that this book was written before the internet was what it is now.
Yeah,
And like, I feel like if it was written now, there would be a whole separate chapter about the internet and social media and how that is like
absolutely.
a huge fucking block. Like,
Absolutely.
I think for probably both of us, I mean, I want to know what you think about yours, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that ultimately the internet is like the biggest block for me, and especially like um because there's been a lot going on recently. I know that I've been on the internet more, and I know it's because like for me it's a distraction from feeling certain things, and so I definitely want to keep going in the direction of digital minimalism.
Mm-hmm.
I still need to dumbify my phone and
I mean, part of it's also acknowledge, like you just acknowledged that you don't want to feel the things that you're feeling, so you're looking elsewhere to avoid that feeling. That's a block.
mm-hmm,
That's literally like definition almost of a block. Um, and the way through that is to like work through those feelings and like not hide them, not push them down, not push them away, but like embrace them and work with them. And social media, like if this book had been written this past decade, absolutely social media would be on there. And you can compare, like, I'm going to skip ahead. There's two sections about fame and about comparison. And that's a perfect, like, social media is that. It's a comparison game. It's, well, so and so has this many followers and they had this many likes on their post that looks kind of like my post. And if I do something similar, maybe I'll get that. And like, instead of it being a artistic adventure, like I think Instagram used to be this beautiful, same thing with Pinterest. It used to be this really cool spot where you could post your art, you could post your life, and it was pretty personal, but it wasn't what it is now, which is an advertisement. It's all an advertisement. And yesterday we were looking at different people, different drag queens, and we looked at RuPaul's and like who gave her permission to just do whatever the fuck she wants? I mean, she did, and it's amazing. But like RuPaul's fucking Instagram is one of the funniest things, and just like doesn't give a fuck,
mm-mm,
does not give a single fuck, and that's amazing. I think that's something that like we should all do. With that being said, she's a multimillionaire.
mm-hmm,
I don't know why I'm using her drag pronouns. Doesn't really matter. But like I feel like we sometimes have this thought of like, oh, once I make it big, I can do whatever I want. But I think RuPaul's actually a really good example of doing whatever you want and knowing that it's good, and that becoming like that's where the fame came from. Like, yes, hard work had happened, but
mm-hmm.
all of that to say that like there's this balance of comparison and how we use social media to like grow and become famous and make it an ad, and it's how you make money, and you have to sell your soul a little bit so you can do that. And it's just this really not, it's just not cute in my opinion. Like it's not cute, it's not what it once was. Kind of like skipped around, and there's a lot of like quotes. I can read what I wanted to say. Within dangers of the trail. Now, note carefully that food, work, and sex are all good in themselves. It is the abuse of them that makes them creativity issues. Knowing yourself as an artist means acknowledging which of these you abuse when you want to block yourself. That's what I was like, ah. I know for me it's work, and there's a whole section on workaholism. Like, I will make a list of, well, here's all the things I need to do before I can do the thing that I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's point blank period, very obviously my block that I go towards to avoid what I want to do.
Yeah, do you want to talk about workaholism?
Sure, we can go into that section. I mean, we all know what a workaholic is. Someone who uses work almost as like, I mean, it's the person who's like, oh, I have that work assignment, so I can't do anything. Like, I can't really live my life because I'm working instead. Which is just like hard to watch, and I bet it's hard to watch me do that. And I know I'm like that because I've been doing it since I was 14. I've been in school and had at least one job. Something she wrote about that I appreciated for the workaholism section is that for some people, alcohol is the favorite block, for others, drugs, for many, work is the block of choice. Busy, 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 they grab for tasks that numb themselves with. They can't take a half hour's walk. What a waste of time is what they say. And like I know for a fact that that's some shit I've pulled where I've like woken up in the morning and I've, I literally did this when I worked for a hospital, and I worked as a scheduler because my shift started at 6:30 or sometimes it would start at 7, but like I think it would start at 6:30, and I'd wake up at 5:50, give myself 10 minutes to get my shit ready, get out the door by 6 because it's a half an hour walk. Could I have biked instead and made it so I had 15 minutes to get ready? Yes. Could I get up earlier? Yes. But for a long time, I was with a different partner who would go to bed. He was a bartender, and he would go to bed at like
4 or something.
between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. So oftentimes I'd be woken up, or I would try to stay up late to try and like catch him because, we'd been together for 7 years. He was also a creative block. Let me just be so fucking honest with you. And also just like sunk cost fallacy in a nutshell. Like, leave him. There you go. Leave him. Anyways, it's just like, yeah, I just did not make time for myself because I would wake up, give myself 10 minutes, which is stressful. That's a lot to do in 10 minutes to get your shit ready for the day. Usually wouldn't even bring lunch. Would just try to figure it out day of, or not. Like, sometimes wouldn't even eat lunch unless I had something planned the day before, and it was just unsustainable. Like, that's the best way to put it. Unsustainable. Workaholism in the way that I've done it in the past just doesn't work, and I'm very thankful that now, partially because I don't have a job, but partially from our travels and learning more about myself and how much more I care about being creative, I'm able to spend more time thinking, okay, I could make time for this creative thing, or I could do this thing that's supportive of my creative journey, etc., etc. And even then I could do a lot better, but I'm better than I was. I'm not perfect. I don't even know if I'm at like halfway perfect. Does that exist? Whatever. But like, it's so easy for me to see tasks and go start them immediately and work on it and like get shit done because I'm often praised for it. How many times has your family said like they love my initiative? It's because if it's done, then I don't have to worry about it later.
Yeah.
It's just like my mom, but I think I do it more healthily because I can take a step back and go, I can do this later. That's okay.
Yeah, I think that our travels have helped you a lot to be able to step away from workaholism. And I think part of it too, even without the artist's way, is like the self journey that you've been on of like prioritizing yourself and
Mm-hmm.
understanding what your boundaries are.
Mm-hmm. Which, like, obviously I'm still working on, but I appreciate you stating that. Because I'm enjoying the blonde life. um, but I've been doing my nails still and making time for that. Like, I am choosing to make time for myself in creative ways and just like self care ways. And I know that's really important for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I feel like you've been doing the same, but you kind of already were there when it comes to that. You've been on that journey for longer, and I'm kind of at where you were when you got that ceramics job, where I'm very aware that I could do a lot of jobs in like healthcare and whatnot, but I have the desire to do something creative.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do something that I find fun and that fulfills me and like energizes me. Not that hospital work doesn't, but like it doesn't in the same way as, I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know what jobs there are. I'm thinking about like trying to find photography gigs, but I have this like it's interesting. This is an interesting side tangent that I'll come back from, but I have this like list of once these things are done, I can then start working on next steps. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not because I'm trying to block myself, it's because I want to be as successful as possible and the baby steps need to happen before I jump in, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like that's almost feels like a full circle moment of instead of jumping in and being like, shit, I don't have this stuff done. It's I see the steps and I know what I've done in the past that didn't work. So let me try this, see if it does work better. You know, I feel like that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it could be considered a block because it's a list of things that I'd like to have done.
Yeah.
But it's all related. It's like editing photos, which I don't like to do. But once I do them, I feel so good and then I actually share my work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I relate to like the experience of with creativity, um, having like your to-do list and then the
Mm-hmm.
creative work is like at the very end of the to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
um, and I haven't quite figured out how to adjust it to like prioritize it more. I think I understand it in theory, but because we've been traveling and we don't have like a set routine and a
Mm-hmm.
set place that we're living yet, I haven't quite come around to that yet.
Mm.
But I am feeling and hoping that once we do have that routine established, that I'll be more mindful and not do the same thing that I have done in the past of yeah, putting creative work at the very end of the to-do list, which means that most of the time it never gets touched.
I do the same thing, and maybe a good challenge for both of us is to make it the first thing on the to-do list. I know why I do that. It's because it's a reward. My reward for doing all this shit is playing. You know, my reward for vacuuming and doing the dishes is to play.
Mm,
But then things add to the list, and that's a block. Like that's literally the workaholism block.
yeah, exactly.
Because we don't have any routine whatsoever. And it's something I do really well with routines. I do really well with a schedule. Like I'm an agenda bitch through and through. Like give me an agenda, I will write out my week's plan and I will follow it pretty closely. And I know that my limit is 7 tasks a day. That is my maximum. I cannot give myself more than 7 tasks. I can like do overarching tasks and that's usually okay, but I just like I have to have 7 bullet points and I think that's like a psychological thing as well of like your brain can do that much, but after that it's like exhausting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still kind of high, but I'd love to make it 5 tasks a day maximum, but some tasks take longer than others, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's interesting that you are able to assign yourself like a limit of a number of tasks because for me, it really depends on like it's not bullet points, it depends on like how long the task is or how complex it is because like one task could be doing the dishes but another task could be reorganizing the closet, and reorganizing a closet is like 5 tasks in one task.
I do categorize them by like time, but I'll make sure that on a day that I have less tasks, I'll give myself a bigger assignment. Or for me, editing photos, that's going to take, I think I have over 3,000 photos to edit. I know that's going to be something I do a little bit every day. Like when we're watching Drag Race or as you're cooking, like I need to bring my iPad out or my computer out and upload all those photos. That's a task in itself because it's pushing past that block. It's pushing past that procrastination of not not that I'm scared to do it, it's just I know it's time consuming and it's not the most pleasurable part about photography. For me at least, I know for some people they love that part, but that's not me. Um, and once I push past that, then I can like do a little bit every day. But I also know myself and I can get sucked into it and like only be doing that for an entire day, which gives me headaches and stuff. But um, that's kind of how I break up tasks. It is partially like how much energy does this take? How many spoons does this take? But I know my maximum is 7 because that's how much I can push to my limit. Like if I had my task, 7 tasks of, um, I need to vacuum, do the dishes, sweep doesn't count. I'm trying to think about the condo when we were there. Like if it was clean the kitchen, vacuum, do the dishes. If it was to reorganize my closet, I would leave it at 4.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really do the math out loud. I know I can do like it's like 7 small tasks or 2 big tasks, but like big is it depends on how much I enjoy the task. I love reorganizing my closet. I would do that whenever, and it takes me about 5 hours or less, and I love doing it. Another thing she wrote, let's see, because workaholism, or let me cue this up a little bit better. Something else she wrote about workaholism was a read for many of us. Because workaholism is a process addiction, an addiction to a behavior rather than a substance, it is difficult to tell when we are indulging in it. An alcoholic gets sober by abstaining from alcohol. A workaholic gets sober by abstaining from overwork. The trick is to define overwork. And this is where we often lie to ourselves, bargaining to hold on to those abusive behaviors that still serve us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think I haven't necessarily like out loud defined what overwork is, but I know it when I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can like kind of look ahead and be like, okay, that's too much to do in a day. Because I basically, this is really hard to explain, but I'm trying to. If I can't get through the list, that means I pushed too hard. And I've not gotten through the list enough times to know what I can do in a day and what is comfortable, especially now that it's like gone from I can do 7 tasks to I'd rather do 5 or less. I'd like
Mm-hmm.
to do 5 because then I feel accomplished, but like there's the balance of feeling accomplished versus feeling like wildly overput, like without, sorry. There's a difference between feeling accomplished and feeling overworked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really important to like know the difference between.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you have that down?
Um, yes. I mean,
I think you've had it down longer than I have
yeah,
somehow.
I'm a less is more type of bitch. Um, so if it's like, I don't know, if it's a task that I've been procrastinating for a long time, if that's the only thing I do that day, that's like a huge win, and that's the reward in itself, is like taking care of this thing that I've been avoiding, and then being able to do whatever I want for the rest of my day. Um, but at the same time, like there's other things that even if I don't have a written to-do list, I'm still doing those tasks. Like I'm still gonna make food and still gonna like do dishes if they need to be done and that sort of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Not really, but that's okay because it brings up procrastination and like we have very different experiences of it. I hate procrastinating. It makes me like really upset. Like I get really stressed out and really anxious and it like starts to cause like panic and that is obviously really uncomfortable. I know it's one of our differences, especially when it comes to like texting and stuff. Because I'm not the best texter. I'm not a great texter. I will be super honest with that. But I do start to get really anxious once it's been like 5 days and I haven't responded to somebody, or even 3 days, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta respond to that because if I don't, then like all these things might happen, and it's this really interesting balance. I think that's why I get kind of weird about the podcast sometimes too, because I'm like, I don't want to procrastinate this because I know that once it becomes something I'm procrastinating, it is really challenging for me to pick it back up, because like it's painful too almost. It's like shameful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not letting it happen, and I think that's kind of how I go about a lot of things is I don't want to procrastinate it because the shame I feel in that is really intense, and that's like enough to motivate me to not do it.
Yeah.
Which is, not necessarily healthy or good, and I don't necessarily recommend it. Actually, I don't recommend it. but it is how my brain works for whatever reason. And I couldn't tell you why exactly. It's probably something to do with my parents yelling at me, like everything. But fuck if I remember. Maybe it was a teacher.
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, shame is never great, but shaming yourself out of procrastinating is like they cancel each other out. PEMDAS.
PEMDAS. Is that a good thing or a bad PEMDAS?
I'd say, I
It
mean,
works, right?
yeah.
Like it makes it so I feel like very accomplished and I'm very confident in my ability to work hard and take initiative and like do it. It's kind of like just like a random story. We were in the car with your family and we needed to do like a little maneuver where a truck got moved, a trailer got moved, and another car got moved. And I'll just say your dad said it once and I immediately was like, ping, understand. I completely understand what's happening and I can work around that. Like I understand it. And then he explained it like two or three more times to your mother, maybe four. And at one point we park and we get pulled over. Your mom's still trying to figure it out. And I just get out of the car. I just get out of the car and grab it because I'm like, I don't wanna do this. I just wanna like get shit going.
Hmm.
Um and I'm pretty sure you said that your dad's jaw dropped. And that in itself is like such a like win for me. Because I love that like acknowledgement of hard work. Not even hard work. It was just quick thinking and like quick learner. And like you guys taught me cribbage and I understood and learned it in a single session. Will I be good at it? Probably not. Do I understand the concepts and can play it technically? Yes. But you know, it takes time to get good at something, and I'm fine with being bad at it too. Oh my god, look at how much we've grown. I'm fine at being bad at it as long as I can learn.
Hmm.
And it's just like oh my god, I finally took my first ballet class and it was so fun and I'm so rusty, but I had so much fun and mama needs to work on a lot. And that's okay. I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome.
That's a crazy tangent.
That's okay.
I don't know, just tooting my own horn.
It's what the
But
people are here for.
that's true.
Conversation and tangents.
That's true. But going back to procrastination and workaholism, like towards what we were saying, and then I'll get back to like the next quote. Dancing and taking a ballet class, that was starting to get on my nerves of like, I haven't done this and I'm literally procrastinating. It's been like a month or two of procrastinating and it like burns. It hurts. It like is painful. And I think that's maybe something that people don't necessarily, it's hard to feel your body. It's hard to feel emotions in your body. And I've gotten pretty good at that. So I know for me, procrastination physically hurts.
Mm.
Like it genuinely hurts my heart and my chest. And I think some people um, get that and some people don't, and that's okay. Okay, the next quote, I don't know if this is going to make it in. There is a difference between zestful work towards a cherished goal and workaholism. That difference lies less in the hours than it does in the emotional quality of how the hours are spent, period. Oh, you were kind of just talking about this. There is a treadmill quality to workaholism. We depend on our addiction and we resent it. For a workaholic, the work is synonymous with worth, and we are hesitant to just jettison any part of it. I think I used to feel like that, and now, even though I do have tendencies of it, I can recognize that a lot of the work that I put in and the workaholism I'm experiencing are for things that bring me a lot of joy.
Hmm.
So instead of it being like resentful, I'm like thankful. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Specifically for the podcast. Like I really enjoy doing this and I really enjoy editing it and I enjoy posting it and making the covers and like this is just really fun whenever we do it. Do you have thoughts?
I'm excited to see how what we do evolves after we're done with the course
Yeah.
because I feel like it'll be I was thinking about this in the shower actually of like even if we don't have like a specific theme for the week doing
Mm-hmm.
like basically an artist check-in for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves like
Yeah.
creating our own like tasks for ourselves of the week of what our like creative goals are
Yeah.
and then coming together and talking about that
That's a great
to
idea.
like continue holding each other accountable for the creative things that we are interested in doing.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. I think it would be good to like write those down too. I don't know. I really want to make a content calendar basically and also like a calendar of things that we want to do just because that helps me actually do them and make time for them. Because if it's I'd like to do this today, then that's not really like concrete enough for me to like do it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Um, well, the next section actually kind of ties into this is drought. So it doesn't ties into it as it's an opposite. Like we're kind of on this like up and up journey, and I think that parts of this week, specifically yesterday, where we like pretended like the day didn't exist. We didn't do morning pages. We did literally nothing, which was wonderful and great. And maybe that's an artist date in its own way. Oops. But droughts sometimes show up for us. I mean, we all know what a drought is. We all understand a plateau, a drought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you feel
Yeah.
like you've been experiencing that?
Yes, I do, because I haven't really been creative outside of working through the book. But I mean, I still have like creative intentions and plans, and I'm excited to paint soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's been something that's been sparking a lot for me. But yeah, it's interesting because I think she mentions in the chapter too that like the journey through the drought and the desert is to continue being consistent with morning pages.
Yeah, that's exactly what she says.
Yeah, which I don't disagree with, but it's also like, I don't know. It's really not easy. I'm fantasizing a lot about getting an aerial rig to be able to do Lyra.
Period.
It's not cheap by any means, but I
Fair.
know that if I had like a rig set up back here, I would be doing it like nearly every day, even if it was just like doing some like warm up or like stretching or something.
Mm-hmm. I still stand by if this is what you're needing and what you're wanting, like we're gonna if it fits in a Prius, then get it. No
Mm-hmm.
question.
Yeah, I actually need to like reach out to the company and see what dimensions it is when it's all broken down.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine it's that big. It's meant to be like portable.
I think that you should do it. I think that, if you're having a fantasy about something in that way, then that's a sign that you need to do it. And if that's what's like blocking you,
I mean, the way I see it is that like because I know it's something that I would jump right back into, it would be an avenue for me to feel like it would unblock me enough to be able to enter into other realms more easily as well.
the next section is fame. So, fame as a drug. When the fame drug hits, you need to go to your easel, your typewriter, your camera, or clay. Pick up the tools of your work and begin to do just a little creative play. Very soon, the fame drug should start to lessen its hold. The only cure for the fame drug is creative endeavor, excuse me. Only when we are being joyfully creative can we release the obsession with others and how they are doing. This is also like has to do with comparison in my opinion, but she doesn't necessarily say that.
My interpretation of this is that like if you if you become known for your work as an artist, like you reach that like point of fame, which for I'd say for a good amount of people is like a really big achievement. Then once you reach that, it's like, oh, okay, I made it. I don't have to. It's almost like stepping away from the thing that brought you the fame. And what
Hmm.
she's saying is like, keep doing the thing that you were doing that brought you to this point. Otherwise, you're going to get lost in yourself and like the whole point of you wanting to be successful. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I think that is really important and a good thing for when people do obtain fame. I think what she was writing about was the feeling of like instead of it being a drive to create, it becomes a drive to be famous, and that's like the reason you do it. I think that's what she said in the chapter. Is like, um, people like the fame drug is like its own feeling of like, well, when I'm famous, like, why am I not famous yet? I want to be famous, and then comparing yourself to famous people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that is important for those who do have fame, though. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important. I think that's a good way to read it and interpret it, and I think it's a good way to heal either end of the spectrum. If you are famous, if you aren't famous and want to be famous, like the fame isn't what matters. I think long and short of it is fame is not what matters. It might be something that our society tells us matters, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You are still reading famous people for giving up on their dreams once they get famous and selling out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what we all need to do is just do it for the fun, do it for the pleasure, for pleasure's sake. Another thing she said is, this is actually just literally what I just said. The point of the work is the work. Fame interferes with that perception. Instead of acting and being about acting, it becomes about being a famous actor. Instead of writing being about writing, it becomes about being a recognized writer, not just published. Remember, treating yourself like a precious object will make you strong. When you have been toxified by the fame drug, you need to detox by coddling yourself. What's in order here is a great deal of gentleness and some behavior that makes you like yourself. People's goal not being to write something, but to be a famous writer, to be a famous actor, to be a famous social media person, as opposed to just like doing it because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's something I struggle with because my brain goes to, I want to be successful. I don't want to be famous, but I want to be successful. And that almost feels the same when it comes to like the podcast. Like, I would love for this to be something that blows up and gains a lot of attention in my pajamas. I'm really not looking cute today. I mean, I am actually. I am looking cute. I am looking pajamified. But like, I know that's something I felt very read by that part of the chapter because I was like, okay, I got to come back to why I want to do these things. It's not because of this, it's because of the true intention and desire to like support queer art, to love queer art, to be part of queer art.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you're really good at keeping that mindset. I think I get a little bit more carried away with the idea of fame.
I don't disagree.
I mean, we both want to be on Drag Race, though. I'm gonna say that almost every episode. I'm manifesting it. We're gonna be on Drag Race, not as drag queens, though,
As guest.
as guest judges, or what are they called?
For like the makeover episode or something.
We said this exact thing last time.
Did we?
Yes. Okay. Almost exactly like that.
Let's keep saying it every week.
Exactly.
RuPaul, call us.
I think the next part, I think it's good that the next thing she talks about is comparison, which is kind of, it's adjacent to fame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The first quote that I have here is, you pick up a magazine or even your alumni news, and somebody you know has gone further and faster towards your dream. Instead of saying, this proves it can be done, your fear will say, they will succeed instead of me. I feel like that's something that we both, I think this is something that goes back to social media. And we talked about it the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, this morning, I was looking on Reddit in the Artist Way Reddit subreddit, and someone was posting, I forgot the point of their post. I think it was them saying like after they've finished the course, like wanting to keep up with it in a way, and like if they had any podcast recommendations. And they said like, I personally can recommend this podcast, and it's I forgot what it's called, but it's like the Artist Way with these two people, and they talk about each week. And I saw that, and my first thought was like, oh shit. But then my second thought was, oh, okay, so like other people are doing this, and like reframing it in a way of like, this isn't a bad thing. And then I even had the thought of like, what if we collabed?
No, literally. Did you reach out?
No, I didn't reach out.
Did you post that our podcast exists?
Yes, I did.
Period. Hi. If you came from that Reddit thread, hey. That's super cool. We should totally reach out to those people and be like, hey, do you guys want to do a collab episode? Because it's good to support each other. And I'm so proud of you for that mindset shift. I'm so proud of you. That's really, really awesome. That shows a lot of growth for you.
And well, and part of it too is like, actually, I mean, I can't speak for this other podcast because I haven't listened to any of their things, but based on the title alone, it seems like it's only focused on the Artist's Way. And I know that that's what we've only been talking about thus far, but I know that we also want our conversations to evolve once we finish the book. So
Yeah. I like what we're
I
doing.
feel like it's a little bit different, and it's also a little different because um, basically every episode we've been in a different location, and that adds a fun little twist to it.
Yeah, we're doing something that others haven't. We are recording outside almost every single episode, unless it's rainy and cold, because I'm a baby and I can't handle that. We are recording in different locations every time, like you said. We are constantly evolving and are in a state of what the fuck is happening constantly, which is exciting in its own way. And we have a perspective of like, we have a perspective that is very niche, not to mention we have a lot of subjects that we are able to talk about because we have enough knowledge and information and undergraduate studies to be able to discuss certain things. Um, and this is a jumping off point, and I'm really excited for when we have our little content calendar of like what's the theme we're talking about this week, and we do a little bit of research ahead of time. And I love chatting with you in this way, and I'm very excited to have more themes that are like we're talking about this specific thing. I do love our tangents and our random thoughts, but I'm particularly excited to discuss well, one, I'm excited for the crisps episode, which will now be episode 14 probably. Oops. um which is a really really great number. I love that number. And I'm really excited to talk about the psychology of manifestation. I'm really excited to talk about that, and just like talking about queerness and travel and queerness and being an artist, and how I'm going to go on an adventure at some point of trying to be a photographer in a queer space and like get my nose into queer events, queer workplaces, queer, I mean, bars, drag queens, and drag performances, and blah, 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 blah as a photographer, and, being someone who's non binary who wants to be in the Nutcracker next year. Can I be? I'd like to. I'd love to be the Rat King or just a rat. That'd be super slay. Non binary Rat King, like, it's a no brainer. Barely even dance. I mean, it is dancing and it's super fun, or so it seems. And like, I'm just really pumped for that. And I will try to bring this back to comparison by talking about how there's a few YouTubers who do ballet, and one of them works for, oh gosh, what is her name? Eva Photography is what I know her as. She works as a photographer for this ballet company in Arizona. She has her whole document. She documented her entire journey of like going from haven't danced in a freaking bajillion years, randomly gets in a rat costume and runs on stage and does like 5 seconds of dance, and that was her first time back into the Nutcracker. And then the next year, she played the one of the roles of main mom, which is a pretty big role. It's not like the biggest, and it's not the most technically like challenging, but it is like a very acting role. No words are said, but it's lots of like,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I thought that was super inspiring, and I was proud of myself to same thing, not compare and be like, oh, it's not going to happen for me. Instead, my brain went, oh, it is possible for me to be someone who's in this space long enough to then be like, oh, I can be part of the performance. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I could work for a dance company as their photographer or admin or whatever, and then end up being able to perform in that'd be super fun. Like I don't want to get paid, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need fame. I just want to dress up in a rat costume and run across the stage and do a twirl.
Hell yeah.
Right? Period.
We'll make it happen.
And I think the comparison thing we both have grown a lot on.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah.
I had a similar feeling when I saw, was it Gottmik and Violet Chachki doing an aerial
Mm.
drag thing?
Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Violet Chachki and Gottmik, we love you both so much. Specifically Gottmik, at Gottmik. You are amazing. I love you so much. You are such an inspiration to so many people, ourselves included. Like you are really the fact that you were the first trans mask person to get on Drag Race, like amazing and like game changing. Because there's been lots of like trans femme people, and that's amazing and awesome, and I'm so thankful for that. But the fact that there's a trans mask person, oh, it brings me so much joy. And like the amount of joy that, what was that, season 13?
Mm-hmm.
The amount of joy that came out of season 13 with the final four, like,
I love all of them.
I love you guys. Call me or don't. My Instagram is Steffi at Steffi Joy. Come hang out. Come DM me. We'll talk. Get us. Oh my god, what if we got Gottmik on our fucking podcast? I would shit bricks. Oh my god, wait. I wish I had like a That's So Raven. Like, damn. Are we gonna manifest Gottmik being on our podcast? I would literally love that so much.
That would be really cool.
That'd be a really good. Okay, hold up. We're gonna have a discussion about this now. That would be a really great way to talk about like the artist's way manifestation and all of that, and how Gottmik does that and has done that, and like that would be so fucking cool. This quote might have been in the drought section, but I really like it. And I think it's really important. So everyone listen up. If you're doing your dishes, stop. Listen. Please. Many hits are sure things only in retrospect. Until we know better, we call a great many creative swans ugly ducklings. This is an indignity we offer to our brain children as they rear their heads in consciousness. We judge them like beauty pageant contestants. In a glance, we may cut them down. We forget that not all babies are born beautiful, so we abort the lives of awkward or unseemly projects that may be our finest work. Our best creative ugly ducklings. An act of art needs time to mature. Judged early, it may be judged incorrectly. I loved that part.
Mm-hmm.
So important. And I definitely am not the best reader in the world, so take it with a grain of salt. But I think that's something, I think that comes back into like something I want us to remember is that like any kind of creative things that we want to try, we should just like start it. You know, which is why I want us to buy you the rig. Like that's why I want to get the rig going, because I know I'll play on it too. Tasks. There were 4 tasks this week, and I did 4 of them. Not 4. I did
You
3
didn't
of
do
the
the
4.
piece of paper one, did you?
I did not do the piece of paper. That's the only one I didn't do. I think that one would be good to do, but honestly,
I don't feel like I need it to be able to know what my blocks are, you know?
yeah, I'm pretty aware of what my blocks are, and most of them are involving not alcoholism, lol. Most of them involve workaholism, and I know for all the other things what might affect me, and I'm very aware of like my own boundaries. What I need to work on and what I did work on this week is working out why they bother me and how to get around it, and I'm still working on that part, like how do I get out of this. But I've learned a lot about myself.
Mm-hmm. What would you say your main blocks are, out of curiosity? I don't know if like we've talked about it, but I want to hear you summarize it
Yeah,
if you want to.
no, for sure. I know my main block is not making time for myself, which is part workaholism, part people pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I will make time for everybody else except for myself, and then I will burn myself out for helping others. And it's this like really painful block because I can see it happening, and I get praised for it, and praise is something I really appreciate and something that like drives me. um it doesn't always drive me. It is something that's been a big drive in the past. And so if examples are when we were in Ashland, my mom was drowning in stress and things that she needed help with, so I jumped in to save her and ended up hurting myself in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of being aware of my own boundaries and my own rules for myself, I worked with hers instead. Period. Like it's unfortunate, but that's what happened. um and something I wrote in, I think so, there's the first section, which is the 7 pieces of paper. You put them in a thing, you pull it out 7 times, and you write about how these 7 specific blocks, like alcohol, sex, drugs, work, blah blah blah, um oh goodness, how those affect you and what blocks you with that. The second part, the second task was to write down, I think it was like a list, it doesn't matter how many, but a list of things that bring you joy. Yeah, like I can't remember what you called them, touchstones, I think. So touchstones, I wrote a very long list. Most of it is sunshine, mountains, the ocean, bubble baths. The next section was answering questions. What was it called?
The awful truth.
The awful truth. And that one wasn't as hard as I expected. The hardest question was like, I think there was 10 questions or 15. Or was it
Um,
like 9 questions?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There's 10 questions, and one of them I didn't answer. I didn't know how to. I think it was like 6 or 7 or 8. It was like, what are you going to do about it or something?
Well, nearly half of the questions were about like friends, friends that are destructive, friends that believe in you, and what habits each of those friends have.
And for me, I realized although I do have friends who I know support me and love me and trust me, and I trust them, I don't really share much. Because this side of me has only been rebirthed in the past like 3 months, and it's just been the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really want to bring it to anybody else because I kind of want to, it's just like it's my thing I'm working on. It's my experience.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't trust people with it. I just don't want to be disappointed by telling somebody and them not giving me the reaction I want. Like I know now what I want as a reaction. So instead of like setting people up for failure with it, I'd rather just like do my own thing and do it because I want to and not get other people's outside perspective and opinion because that's not why I'm doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I think that's important for me to do specifically because that's what I've cared about in the past. Growth.
Yeah, that's good.
We also just don't have we have a lot of friends, but we don't have close friends right now because we literally can't. We haven't seen them in 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we still love them and we love all our friends, but it's just not the same, and that's okay.
Yeah.
When we see each other, we're not talking about that. We're catching up on the past 9 months. So, it's an interesting balance. It's an interesting position to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about the last task?
There was something in the tasks list. I think that was what helped me realize what my biggest block is. The awful truth. Like the biggest block for me is like the people pleasing thing, which we knew, but I wrote it out in such a way that I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
really, really see it now. But it wasn't really because of the questions, it's because I went off the questions and said, this is what I think she's trying to ask, and this is how it applies to me. um, what about you? With the awful truth?
Like, what was my biggest block or what?
Yeah. What is your biggest block?
Um, I think it's the way that I avoid my feelings, which is either through like distraction, yeah, distraction, and it can be any category for that. Mm-hmm.
I'm really proud of you for figuring that out. Do you want to say anything else about it? Maybe someone else who might feel that way too, what you think that you all should do?
Um, I don't know because I don't really have the answers. It's like every time feels like the first time. Like if I'm feeling upset or overwhelmed, it's like all of the tools that I might have had in my tool belt, I don't remember them right away.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's like when it's not just one thing, but it's like 5 to 10 things happening, it's it feels easier in a way. I know it's a block, but it feels easier in a way to just like distract because it's a way to survive.
What's next?
The other task is setting a bottom line.
Okay, that one I have not entirely done. I've done it like partly because I think I understand what I think it. The way the task was phrased was very challenging for me to understand what to do. You know,
It's basically a boundary that you can set for yourself. Most of them are oriented towards like being a workaholic, but like,
and that's why it's hard because like when it's people pleasing and it's making time for yourself, but like we've been in a position where like some days the bottom line wouldn't apply because we're traveling or like I haven't really settled enough into our routine to be able to do that yet.
yeah.
That's kind of how I feel. That might be an excuse, but that's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't know what I want my bottom line to be as other than respect myself and, take care of myself, which I am trying to do and I could do better. And I know that's probably where my bottom line is, somewhere in there. I just don't really know how to phrase it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think about it every day though, and I try to write about it a little bit every day. I just haven't found the right phrase yet. What about you?
I think I feel similarly, just that like I have like these boundaries or things that I want to achieve daily to put me in the best headspace for focusing on myself and staying open to creativity that doesn't always feel possible with like traveling and being around families and stuff. Um, so and it's easier to see being able to achieve those things when it's like when we feel more grounded, because I know we've talked about this before, but it's like really hard to feel grounded when there's still a lot that's uncertain,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to try and like get into a consistent routine when there isn't much certainty.
I think for us, it'd be important and good to have a mindset shift. This is something that I need to have specifically, a mindset shift of uncertainty isn't a bad thing. It's not something that is harmful. It's something that's a little scary for sure. And I'm like, you know me, I hate uncertainty. You know, I fucking hate that I have no idea where we're going or when. I do not like that. But I'm trying to shift my mindset to be more open to anything. So instead of trying to find an answer, just going with the flow. And I think that's something we could both work on again, which we've done a million times, but we just need to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hard, but every time we do that and we open ourselves up, that's when good stuff comes. Every single time we do that. It's dry as fuck here. My hands are crusty, rusty. My face is crusty. I hate the word crusty. Anyways, check in. Morning pages first.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do all your morning pages this week?
Yes, except for the day that we didn't count.
Anything that you learned or saw?
No, not really.
Really?
Sorry, that wasn't a great answer.
Yeah. I've just been doing a lot of thinking about how to better utilize my time. Um, not really utilize it, but like try to like figure out how I'm feeling about certain things. And um, I've been doing a lot of like manifesting stuff and making like a list of things. I've been doing lots of lists because it's helpful for me to like remember what I'd like to do in which order and how that will help me move forward in different things. And it's kind of a way to like try and inspire myself to do photo editing, to be honest with you. But I'd say my morning pages have been pretty neutral, partially for the same reason, because this is very emotionally intense. Sorry for the interruption. The cats were fed lunch.
The artist date was baking.
For you, we had two different artist dates. We did them individually this week.
Oh, was yours doing the dance class? Cool. I made pumpkin pie, or I guess you made the filling, but
I mean, it was your recipe. I kind of feel like you made the pie because you did the hard part. You did like a really incredible crust.
yeah, that was fun.
You did a really good job. You did a technique you haven't done before, right?
Sort of. Every time I do crust, it's an experiment, a trial and error thing.
Mm-hmm.
This one turned out pretty well.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
How was dancing?
Fun, and I need to work on it. um, I did a class that was probably a little too advanced for me, but that kind of made it more fun. And my extensions are just not what they were, which is super fair because I have not practiced it in over a year, if not two. So it was definitely like okay, I know that my body and brain can keep up with this much. I can do it and not get like super sweaty, and I can have a good exercise at an intermediate level. I don't know all the words or positions well enough, and my posture and form isn't good enough to be in an intermediate class yet. I would need to go back to beginner to remember everything and relearn and be better at it, which I'm fine with because that shit's really fun. Like I love beginner classes. It makes me feel really confident in myself, and I kind of need the practice of learning how to do things more properly so I don't injure myself.
Mm-hmm.
And especially knowing my own range of motion that I have now as opposed to what I've forced myself into in the past. But I had a great time. It was super fun. I have wanted to do that for months and it was great. And I'd like to do it again. But yeah, it's only been like, I don't know, a week. So yeah, I enjoyed
Nice.
my artist date.
That's good. Did we have any synchronicities this week?
Have there been? I don't feel like I've noticed any, but
I haven't noticed any, but like I
we've
said,
also
it's
been in
been
fight or flight. Like I know you've been in it, but I've also been in it, which I think is like just disconnecting from the universe when we do that. It's kind of
Mhm.
hard to notice those things as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't notice. I didn't notice any, but I'm hoping next week we will be a little more because we only have 2 weeks left. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
That's fucking crazy. Week
Yeah.
11 starts today.
Hopefully, this upcoming week, I would like to feel more like myself. It's just not been. Yeah, it's been
What do you think you can
challenge.
do to make yourself feel more like yourself?
Having a routine.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Having a routine, prioritizing movement, prioritizing meditation,
Mhm.
self care things.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Cool. Then we'll do that. I think that's everything for this week. I hope you liked, if you're watching the video, I hope you liked seeing our cats. If you guys, if you all want to see more of us, please do all the things to make it so we can keep doing this. It's not like we're making money off it yet, but if you guys have tips and tricks for monetizing or, you know, any ideas, any comments, any thoughts, we love to hear from people. We love to know how we can improve. You all are great. If you're at week 11 with us, then oh my God, we're so close. Pop off. We're amazing. Go team. And thank you for watching or listening.
Take care of yourself. Be easy on yourself. Baby steps are better than no steps.
Bye.